Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. Just quickly, some of you guys actually work out of a shop or have worked out of a shop, and you can help me answer a question about snap-on tools, specifically snap-on tools. The deal with Mustie1, if you guys remember the SL100, I was after, sitting right there, I was after some good screwdrivers. So I had this one snap-on number 2 in my Hoard, but if you guys look at the tip there, you can see somebody exploded it. He gave me these other screwdrivers, snap-on. These three are Matco upside down. And some of them are real decent. Those two are fine. This one's fine. This one's fine. This is fine. That's fine. The number 3 is good to have. The number 1 is good to have. But what I'm missing is a snap-on number 2. And this is a snap-on number 2. Now, given the way this looks, and to me it looks like it was twisted off. Somebody must have really leaned down on it and probably had a wrench back here and twisted it off. Could I throw this screwdriver in the back of my truck, and next time I see a snap-on truck floating about, just walk up to him and say, "Yo, I need a new screwdriver," and he'll hand me a new screwdriver, or he start playing the game like Sears and it's been abused, or I did a couple of searches on the internet. I really don't see any place to mail them back to for refurbishing or replacement. So I guess I got to catch the snap-on truck. But how does it work? Are they like, "Oh, cool, no problem, here's a new screwdriver, think of us when you buy your next set of tools"? Or do you kind of have to have a relationship with the guy because you're making that $50 payment every month on your toolbox, or every week on your snap-on toolbox, and he kind of wants to keep you happy at all costs? So if he's got to choke up an occasional screwdriver, he really doesn't care because you're paying him $50 a week and he made a lot of profit off that box he sold you. So I don't know how Snap-on works. I know how Sears works, and it kind of varies store to store a little bit. But if you break a Sears ratchet or socket or anything like that, generally speaking, depending on who the person is behind the desk, you swap it out. The only problem with Sears now is you bring a good American Sears made ratchet in, and they hand you back a ratchet from China, unless they allow you to dig through the refurbished drawer for a while until you find a refurbished American ratchet. So that's kind of the story on Sears stuff. The newer Sears screwdrivers, I've been looking at them, they're nothing great. Harbor, none of their screwdrivers are any good. And you can tell the difference between Snap-on, Matco, some of the better screwdrivers, and some of the cheaper screwdrivers by weight. You pick up a Snap-on screwdriver and it weighs 50% more, maybe almost twice as much as the equivalent size in Harbor Freight, free screwdrivers with the coupon, right? So anyway, if you guys could advise me on this the Snap-on trade-in stuff, I'd really appreciate it. What I'll do is I'll probably go to one of the local garages and ask when the Snap-on guy visits, and from there see if I can't trade it in. If you guys tell me he's going to trade it in. If he's just going to tell me to bark at the moon and hurt myself, there's no use bothering with him. But once again, I have no experience in this area. where I worked, we used to buy tools and had a big box of tools. Depending on what department you were in, you either had your own toolbox or you had a shared toolbox. If you had your own toolbox, when you needed a screwdriver, you went and you ordered another screwdriver. They typically sent us to Sears or Home Depot, and we petty cashed them. So when you chewed up your screwdriver, I mean, you went and you got another one. Sometimes we would have full Jensen kits, once again, depending on what department we were in, and the Jensen kit theoretically contained all the tools you needed. Normally, it contained 90% of the tools you needed, which were 10 tools, and 90% of the other tools in the Jensen box you never used. You used like 10% of the tools you would get in a typical Jensen box, and the remaining 90% were useless to you. And once again, those 10 tools normally filled 80-90% of what you were trying to do, and then everything else you kind of needed something a little special to take apart what you needed to take apart. Anyway, folks, please let me know. Tell me about Snap-on. I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your heads up, and please get out there and enjoy all your days. Bye now, folks.